Definitely do this.
Charlie, what are some to million different kinds of things?
Good morning. If you guys can please take your seats, I'd really appreciate it. The show will start any second.
One of the last.
And you never drank coffee. Right. Level here, you get me all right? You're good. It's working.
Good morning. My name is Ron, and I'm one of the organizers of 1 Million Cups. Back there is Dave. I see Shay just arrived. Natalie is at the beach somewhere, and Nancy is freezing her butt off in Kansas City. So, hi Nancy. But she'll be here in the next few weeks, so you'll get to finally meet the invisible Nancy. I wanted to, again, thank you guys for coming. More will be streaming along the way, but this is 1 Million Cups in case you're not sure. And if you haven't got your cup of coffee yet, grab it, please. This is a Coffee Foundation initiative launched in Kansas City almost 2 years ago. And last September, we were the 13th city. There are now close to 40 cities nationwide, more than 70 by the end of the year. So fairly exciting stuff and astronomical growth going on. Right here you have the Twitter handles for Million Cups and the organizers, as well as the sponsors. We'll talk about those during the short intermission. It's not really an intermission, but during the short switch over. And then our two presenters. So please go ahead and tweet at them and about them, share pictures, share information. We'll remind you briefly that that we're still running a competition online for the fastest and most growth on Twitter and Facebook likes. So please go ahead, and if you haven't liked already our Facebook page, do that. Just by quick show of hand, who's here for the first time at 1 Million Cups? This is awesome. And thank you guys for coming. Next week, bring friends. We want to have you and more people around. And so, without any further ado, we're going to have the first presenter come up and share his story. Again, 6 minutes of presentation, 20 minutes of Q&A, and we'll go from there. We have an intern from Lake Highland who is coming out to help us. Stand up and say hello. Here you go. She has to do this for a class, so. So, again, are you ready?
I suppose so.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, I don't want my time to start just yet because I want to get a little background because I speak quickly, and if I speak too quickly, then you can't understand me. And so if that happens, just like raise your hand, or I usually gauge myself by the glazed faces in the front. So if that's what's going on, just fill me in. So I'm going to follow the traditional, who, what, why approach today. And the first thing I want to go through is who we are. So we're BMDM. And we are right around the corner, about a mile away. We are an agency that specializes in data-driven communications. We have been around for 10 years, and we love what we do. And actually, not a whole lot of folks know what we do, and that's one of the things I'm really trying to address today. So the way that we approach what we do is with BMDM, we let you speak to each of your customers or prospects individually at the same time. Now you're thinking email, data-driven, that's part of what we do, but not really all that we do. Are you focusing on, okay, so hi. And essentially, we use data to connect with your customers and prospects. And it sounds easier than it really is. So imagine that you're sitting across a table from somebody. Ideally, it's a customer, it's a prospect, but you have an unlimited resource at your disposal at the side of the table. A portfolio with every image that you might be able to use to show them how they can use your service. A copywriter whispering in your ear with what the best features and benefits might be to convince them that they want your product. There's a accountant over there figuring out what the price point is that will get this message across. That's what we do. So we assemble all these pieces and then we deliver it to your prospect, and that's what gets the message across. So we all start with the data. And everyone has a database. This one happens to be from Toyota, so it's really quite extensive. It's got all kinds of cool information on there. We have information on lifestyle, on history, on driving behaviors, all kinds of stuff. And this is an extreme example. Most folks don't have that level of information available. You may have a CRM tool from Salesforce. You may just have an accounting file. So in your accounting file, you know when they purchased, how much they spent, and how often they buy, an RFM model. You may just have to go out and buy a list. And there's all kinds of information available on lists. So that's a database. But once you have the data together, then you want to start applying it. And so the application comes from assembling of the elements. This is a piece that we did for timeshare, a timeshare agency here in town, before the Queen of Versailles kicked in. And so this was an extreme example of variable communications. When someone came in and purchased a new timeshare, their picture was taken in front of the backdrop of their new property. There was some time between when the purchase was made and then when the paperwork was filled out. So to fill that time in, they took the picture, they did a little referral program saying, who do you know that might be interested in a timeshare? They would be rewarded if anybody purchased. And so the piece that we came together was a picture of the family. I think I have a little laser pointer there, in front of where they purchased, and it varied for each person. Some folks only had one referral, some had 5, some had 10. So you're doing campaigns of 2,000 to 3,000 pieces at a time, made up of 2, 3, or 5 different piece versions. So each family has their own option, their own picture on their own postcard to their friends. So this is an extreme example of what can be done. On the back, they let the timeshare know which of their friends they thought would be most interested in which property. That was here. So we have different offers, different timeshare, different destinations. So this is a good example of assembling all the bits and pieces, and if we can pass around the samples. And one of the really cool things that we're doing now is we can print on just about any substrate. So historically, we've been an agency that did all direct marketing and all kinds of fancy things with data. And now we can do it on all kinds of different print properties. So this is a function of the new press that we brought on board when we moved into our new location a little over a year ago. And so just pass these around. We don't have a whole bunch of them. But it's just an example of how much further we can take the personal communications. We've got some wood stuff on there. We've got some clear stuff on there. And that's actually what prompted us to move away from exclusively direct marketing into specialty services. So now we have folks on staff that sell only this type of product to a very broad range of customers, and people are blown away. The fact that we can do this type of digital technology, this type of versioning and variability on this kind of substrate is something very new to the marketplace. So we're getting great responses from it. We're getting great support from all of the manufacturers, but no one knows about it. So then once we have the substrate together, we want to go ahead and continue that online. And we put it together a personalized URL. We take the information that we gathered before and we put it online. All personalized. This was for full sale. So taking the information, carrying the message further online, we have the name and information already filled out. The likelihood of their major is on there. If they want to change it, they can. It carries the value of the mail that much further. Of course, not everyone is the same, so we have different imagery that reinforces the campaign that they received online, in the mail. Filmmaking, market. But not everyone is online, of course. A lot of folks have mobile devices, and so we had to carry the same technology mobile. And the information is filled out, one hit submit. We track everything, so if you go to your personalized URL, we know about it, we can follow up. It's better than an abandoned cart because we can go ahead and find out how far they got. We track it all the way through. It's quantifiable. We also have a referral program on here. So the intention of the program is to speak individually, make it as easy as possible to respond, and get as much bang for your buck. So between extending the messaging, and the referral program, as a matter of fact, we've had some clients that have gotten enough referrals to pay for their campaign. And that's like a little bonus. That's not even part of the original campaign itself. So, okay, Pearls have been around for a while. BDP's been around for a while. Old news. So what's next? QR codes? Yeah, no, not really. But, like, oh, really, Chuck? Come on. But we took it one step further and did personalized QR codes, which is kind of like the personal URLs. Still not too exciting, unless you're at Best Buy and you're trying to get more information on a camera or something. That's about as far as it goes. It's gotten so far along that when I was giving a presentation last year in Vegas on this, we were on the street and we saw someone, take it to the degree. And I'm sure the folks in Japan that created those in the first place would be so proud that 702 Escorts was using their technology. And she was very happy to be there as well. I take a picture, she goes, really? So what's next is Erasma, and it's Layar, and it's Blipar, and it's Wikitude, and Juneo, and this is when you're supposed to do that, if it works. And augmented reality, yeah, it's too late, don't worry about it, is another way of bringing print to life. And so where QR codes would send an instruction to your device, these applications will take the same approach towards an image. So a visual cue will kick off something on your phone. This one here, for example, was put together by GQ, as you can see. It kicks off a video, and it goes through the entire issue, and it has video, it has music, it's got some Tim Tebow in there, and it really energizes the approach. There's a number of different technologies that are out there. Erasma is by HP. It costs around 10 grand to get into it. We work with Layar, which costs a couple $100 to get into it. But it's really a very new way of making more out of your mail or your print services. So we're very excited about this because we're trying to incorporate this across the board, and you're too late. So, but wait, there's more, right? Direct marketing, here we go. So the newest thing that we're working with now is addressable banner ads. Now, banner ads aren't new, but addressable banner ads are. Because historically, banner ads were tied to your experiential or behavioral experience online, where you clicked, what you did, what you had been doing, what websites you're on. That's how you buy your ads. There you go. I think let's you be here, I don't know. And so what addressable banner ads do is it lets us, again, we're kind of mail focused, take that same mail file, go ahead and match it back to IP addresses and last names and physical addresses so that we know where your computer is. We know where you ordered from Amazon. Well, we don't know. I don't have that information. But they know. They know. Where you ordered from Amazon, where you had things delivered to. And by using that technology, we can guarantee the deliverability of your banner ad onto those sites. So we have thousands of sites that we have access to. If we have demographics that we can select, just like any other online buy, but we link it back to your individual physical address and the IP address. So it's brand new technology that we're just starting to get out there, and we're very excited about what this can mean. Granted, desktop and online isn't going to be very active very long, but for now, it's something different. And you probably saw in the Wall Street Journal about the recent questions with Facebook and Google and the bots that were pumping up the ad rates. Well, this avoids that because it only delivers the ad to known addresses. So there isn't the opportunity for people to go searching through. Okay, I'm flying here. This is it, and that's it. The reason we're here is, okay, because you're here. And we should know each other. And this is why I was excited about the whole 1 million cups approach. By community, for community. If you do a Google search, for marketing or media, or as Lexi did yesterday, and advertising, there's a slew of folks in the neighborhood, a couple miles away. And the challenge is that no one knows what anybody else does, or very, very challenging. So we have advertising agencies and media markets, and we find that all the time, people don't know what we do. And if we're looking for someone, we don't know what they do, or who to go to, or we're doing the same kind of a random approach. And there's such a huge creative community in this area that there should be some kind of approach that will bring everyone together. You know, you show me mine, I'll show you yours. Some kind of a pact where we won't have to go in and worry about accounts or whatever, but we can share what's available so that we can be like a locavore for services. And so what we'd like to approach here today is who's in. I don't know who watches Shark Tank, but you know, okay, come on Sharks, who wants to join? But between Million Cups, BMDM, and you folks, we'd love to start some kind of an organization that would share information, that would give us a platform to talk about what's new, to let us know what everyone does, so that when we look for something, I don't have to go online and randomly look for email deployment or someone to do a website. Or what? Well, different facets though, because not necessarily, because if you have some facet, I mean, we've got so many web firms.
We need to get to the Q&A.
That was it. I'm done. So who's in? That's my cue. Who's in? And yes.
So I'm in the middle of launching a startup, and I have met with a lot of media people, a lot of executives, but everyone I meet with is kind of old school, like I'll do this. I don't need someone to do something for me. I need more collaborative, less intrusive help, where I'm not handing everything over. And so I wonder how you're going to survive and move forward when even web developers are going away.
Sure.
You can get on WordPress and do your own by template. So how do we move forward? And if you really mean what you say, then how do we become more collaborative outside of, say, the bubblers? Because, you know, Mills 50, everyone shares and helps and meets, and I think they do it all on hard. I know you do downtown now. Maybe how do we go beyond that and all get together and start a community? And where we're not paying $20,000.
Right.
As we want to business, on things you really don't need to do that we can also do it together easier. And then my other question would be, is it all going to be tech-based, or are you talking about doing something even bigger and more collaborative?
Well, I think more collaborative because we have clients that we work with and we only offer these services. You know, web to print as well, but you know, so we're an agency with a press, and so we're pretty unique in the whole mix. But as far as advertising or bus ads or billboards or, you know, there's a whole ecosystem around what we do. You know, and when we go into an account, we have this piece of it, and then someone else has this piece of it, and over there, which is fine. But if we know who has this piece or who can control that piece, I think we're going to be better off. Or who we can call upon when we have that opportunity within our group. Because you know, I hate Googling for something that I know that somebody in this room does, but I don't know where to start. You know, or I'll call, you know, Christina, or I'll call somebody that, hey, who do you know, or you know, and then you do that whole pathways thing. But if we can make first-hand contacts, I think we're going to be much better off. And from a tech standpoint, not tech at all necessarily. I think it should be much broader because if we have a pool of folks that we can work with, then we're going to be that much further along. You know, and not that everyone can, you know, because we're in Mills 50, but even in Mills 50, you know, I'm across the street from Lore and Tin Men and Say It Loud and these guys, and we don't really hang very much. Because we're busy, we're running around. But I think if we had some kind of a forum where I knew where, you know, Think Creative stopped and Lure starts and where Tin Man picks up or who their sweet spot is, we'd be much better served as a community as a whole. And that's why I thought 1 Million Cups would really work well for us.
This is probably the place, and Ron's the person I think is supposed to know.
Like questions? Wow, easy. Okay. Well, thanks for listening to me. And any questions? I'll be around for a while. And we got some folks here in some BMDM gear. So just you know, raise a flag. Thank you.
Jay, it's your turn. We have some more coffee, so as we're talking and we'll set up the next speaker, please kind of quietly go and do and grab some more coffee. There'll be plenty of time afterwards to network. There are empty chairs in the front. We're not going to call on you. It doesn't look good on video, so you need to come and fill out the chairs. Shay is going to share with you some interesting happenings within the community and with some of our within the room as well. So
first off, we do want to just give a round of applause and acknowledgement to our sponsors downstairs, the craft coffee they provide, and Rudy for the live streaming. Also, UCF, sorry, Melissa back here in the cubicle top, UCF is providing us some audio so we can give our audio for our recording, so thank you to UCF. Okay, so something you're going to make a note of on your phones right now or something in paper in front of you. The Lean Starter Machine is officially coming to Orlando the weekend of
16th through the 18th at Ron's College.
Awesome! This is kind of an alternative start weekend. It's a different approach, so definitely check it out on Tuesday. They have tickets available, but that's only for $99. It is only $250. This is the image.
Okay.
This is real. So on Tuesday, you can buy your ticket, $99. So if you want to get an email reminder for that, Google Lean Startup Machine Orlando, and then sign up, and you'll get those alerts. You won't get jumping in your inbox, I promise. Also, SCORE is running a really cool competition. Where's our SCORE representative? Here? No?
Where's your leader? He left.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about that later.
$6,500 in business fund competition, and it ends up fairly soon. So Google SCORE Orlando, and it's for companies both less than 2 years of age and more than 2 years of age. And it's also a lot of free and great resources for that program.
Yeah, and we really need your help. You're organizers. There's 5 of us. We work really hard all week long to keep things organized, planned, find presenters. So we really need you guys, because you're out in the community too, to refer startups to apply to present. Even if somebody thinks they're not ready or they're not sure, it's good to apply because they get paired up with one of us, and we help them prepare to present, even if they're a couple months out from being ready. So it's kind of like some free coaching and consulting that can help them along the way. So please encourage people to go to the Orlando 1 Million Cup site and apply to present. And lastly, some fun news. We have 2 1 Million Cups alumni who recently got engaged. So congratulations. We thought we'd capture some weird side as well. All right, guys.
Startup weekend this weekend.
Oh yeah, Startup Weekend is this weekend. It is the first social enterprise startup weekend ever, which is super cool, happening here in Orlando. So Orlando is making history in the startup world. And what is the UCF Startup Enterprise mouthful?
It's a RAISE, Research and Innovation for Social Enterprise.
Yes. So if you have a business idea, or know somebody has a business idea who wants to do good while making money, get into contact with UCF's RAISE and come start the weekend social enterprise this weekend. Yeah? All right, grab some coffee and let's get back to it.
Kidstal, are you ready to go? Don't forget, keep on going with the tweets and Instagram and all the other social media channels. How many of you have not liked our Facebook page? Come on, we can check. How many of you haven't? Raise your hand if you haven't. Right. We're not going to call out on you guys now, but go and like our Facebook page. If you're on Twitter, please follow us. This is a competition, and we want to grow this chapter's followers more than anybody else's. Yeah, we're a little competitive. Are you ready?
Yep.
Right, grab some coffee quietly, come back to your chairs. The next presenter is up.
Hi, my name is Greg Turkanik. Oh, so I need to, okay. Hi, my name is Greg Turkanik. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Kidstal. But before I tell you a little bit about our company, let me start with how it really began. Meet Maya. This is my daughter. And she's now 6. When she was 5, she went to kindergarten, and they gave us like 25 extracurricular activities to choose from. Now we went back home, and I said, how on earth can we choose something which she can be passionate about and great at? So we did what a lot of parents do. We did
my way. So I'm a sailor. I used to play violin and train judo. So guess what? My poor daughter went to violin classes, judo classes, and sailing classes. And my wife is a mathematician. So guess what? Maya went to chess class and Lego engineering class. Now, other parents are doing something. Oh, why did it go? Oh, sorry. And other parents are doing something totally different. They send their kids to as many activities as possible just to avoid fearing of missing out. Now, the consequences are kids are overscheduled, are not enjoying what they are doing. So actually, what we thought, there must be a better way. If we only could find a way to help parents discover early on what the kids can be passionate about and what are their natural talents, we could move from this type of approach to somebody who is really enjoying it. So basically, when you're a parent, you're faced with a big question. You can raise a champion, another Tiger Woods, Michael Jackson, Bobby Fischer, Williams sisters, and that's fine if you want. But even if you don't, if you're a parent, you want to raise a fulfilled, passionate, and happy adult. So whichever goal you have in your life, you need some help. So this is where Kidstal comes into place. We've worked with a group of psychologists to develop assessment tool to discover what are the natural talents. And the solution is made out of 4 elements. Discovery tool, development part, social component, and marketplace. And let me tell you just a little bit about each one of them. Well, we start with discovery. So we have a survey for children, and this can be children as early as 3. Unfortunately, we cannot do 2-year-old. My son is 2-year-old. We tried it. It doesn't work. So we have a survey for children. We have a survey for parents. It can be just a single parent. 2 parents can do, individual or together. And you can actually ask other people that know your child, a nanny, grandma, an aunt, or a coach. So it can actually be kind of a 360 degree for a child. And based on this, we can tell you what are some of the areas that the child is really more talented than the others. It can be linguistic, music, math, logic, kinesthetic or movement, arts, graphic, or spatial. Now, a parent receives a full report, kind of a guide, what it means that your Johnny is, let's say, into music, how you can develop it, how it influences other areas of, let's say, school and learning styles, and what are some ideas for extracurricular activities. Now, the second part, and this comes actually from the parents, we thought, let's build assessment like a strength finder, and we'll be done. So we've built a minimum viable product. We had our first 50 users. We asked them, so use it. How do you like it? And they said, it's cool, but what's next? So they actually told us, just the assessment is nice, but we need to know what to do next with our kids. So we've developed, we call it development activities. So the parents get every 2 weeks an email with very simple things in the area that your kid is talented in, what to do with them to develop that. And that can be done by a parent or a nanny or whoever takes care of your child and spends time with your child. Now, the third element is parents would like to connect with other parents of like-talented children. So this is something we have not built yet. This is something we are working on, but this will help the connection. And the fourth element is, let's say your Johnny is into music. What we would like to suggest is you can buy, a music instrument, you can buy music notes, or other things that are connected with your talent. Of course, we'll not be buying it on stock. We'll be kind of a mini Amazon marketplace. We'll connect the merchants to our users. So these are the 4 elements. Now, of course, we haven't developed it ourselves. It's based on long research and a lot of research. We have a PhD of psychology and her team who actually developed all the science behind. Now, you may have heard about Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers. Now, there is a 10,000-hour rule. And what he says is, in order to be a master, achieve mastery in a given area, you need roughly to spend 10,000 hours developing that. Now, you can start playing violin when you are 30, 40, or 50. But the 10,000 hour rule also applies. So just imagine what happens if we shift this to a child when she or he is 5, 7, or 11. Now, a little bit about our model. We have a freemium model. So actually, a parent can do the whole assessment for free. And what they get is they get information. Let's say Johnny, I like Johnny, I don't know why, but let's say Johnny is into math and music, and a little bit description what it means. If they would like to have a full report, they pay us $9.99, and they actually get for 1 or 2 areas that your child is really talented in, a full report, between 3 and 6 pages. Also with some ideas about how to develop that, and 1 month free development activities. And after that, we encourage our users to subscribe, either monthly or yearly, and they get every 2 weeks the development activities. We also get some commission for the sales of products. Now, and this is something that I would really love your feedback on, because this is something that is for us a little bit challenging. And that is like usually with startups, sales or distribution channels. Now, our users told us that they trust their friends, recommendation of friends, they trust Facebook, meaning again, friends, and they trust blogs of other moms who blog, because actually most of the decisions in terms of kids are taken by moms. I hope they at least discuss it with the fathers, but this is how it works. So this is what we are focusing on, but because we have very limited money, it's working very, very slowly. Now, what we've also started to do is to have some partnerships with private schools, with some organizations that are reaching out to parents, and we are working on some partnerships to share commission with them. We also have a viral element, so if you do assessment for, not Johnny, a Mary, and as soon as you know the Mary is into, let's say, logic and mathematics, you can brag about it on Facebook and say, hey, Mary is a whiz at math, powered by Kidstal. Also, if you refer some friends, you get some activities for free. But this is something we have a challenge. Now, just to finish off, do you know that every month there are 2 million Americans that quit their job voluntarily? Now, over 70% consider finding a new job, and over 30% are actively looking. Now, this shows how our workforce is disengaged. Now, it doesn't need to be that way. And of course, there is a lot to be done for those people who are 30, 40, and 50. But imagine if we start with kids when they are 5, 7, or 9, and help them discover what really is that ticks them, what they can really be passionate about, and not wait until when you are 40 or 50. I always wanted to pay. I am an accountant. And accountants are very important, but instead of waiting when you are 30 or 40 or 50, and then discover, I've been painting all my life and I always wanted to be an accountant, it's better to do that when they are, 5, 7, or 9. Now, when you think about Google, search. When you think about Netflix, you think movies. When you think about Apple, of course, design. How about kids? Well, thank you so much, and I would welcome any questions. Yes? What do you mean exactly by special needs?
Kids with maybe with ADHD or maybe some cerebral palsy, like in that.
Okay. Well, actually, on the market, there is a lot of institutions and companies that care about those children. Our tool can still help those children to discover what are their talents, because all of the kids are talented. But we're not focusing on helping with, disorders, but we can still help them discover. But there is a lot of competition also directed to kids that have some let's say, disabilities and disorders. But all the kids are talented. So even if somebody is running around, if he only sit, and for the kid, the survey takes 15 seconds or 20 seconds maybe. So it takes much longer for parents. But even if somebody is really running around, he can do the survey without any problems. Sorry? Okay, so far we have a very simple type of survey. We are now working on a survey based on game. So actually a kid will be playing game. Now the survey is based on pictures. So actually you sit your child in front of a computer or a tablet or whatever, and allow her or him choose pictures. And basically you have 6 to 9 pictures. It depends on how the kid is choosing and what is choosing. And he's just choosing whether it's a ball or a brush or some words. And based on this, algorithm changes the next set of pictures. So it's actually between 6 and 12 sets of pictures. And this is how we are choosing. And there is a lot of algorithm behind this, but this is just part of the survey. Everything else is for parents. Now, as kids are older, and for the time being, we do only for kids age 3 through 9. When they're older, you need a little bit more sophisticated tools. So this is why we're working now on a game that actually from when the kid is playing the game, will be able to take out the hints about their interests and their passions.
So, you said once they take a survey, they have to pay a student's subscription service every 2 weeks to receive a package. So
Yeah.
The digital package, the physical package, the mix of the two.
So far, it's digital package. So we send an email. Sometimes there is a short video with the introduction, and sometimes these are just 3, 4, 5 very simple activities in the area. So even if, let's say, you're not into music, and your kid is into music, you can still, all of the activities you can do with your kid, because they are very, very simple. And actually, very simple things help develop the talents, and this is all based on the research also. Yes?
It seems like all of this seems to really depend on the science being sound.
Yeah.
So how did you go about, choosing the psychologist that you work for, or work with around, and how confident are you?
That's a very good question. Actually, if you go to, I didn't talk about our competition. Our main competition is actually psychologists. Because if you go to a psychology, you pay $150 to $200, and they can actually administer a test or a survey. And most of the surveys can be administered only by licensed psychologists. So this is our biggest competitor. But there is a lot of research behind this. And actually, I went to several psychologists, and they said, well, it cannot be done, you need to come to see me. And this is the only way. But finally, I found a group of psychologists who said, well, it's not easy, but if we work on this, it can be done. And you can look up Malcolm Gladwell, multiple intelligences, and there is a lot of research that has been done. Just nobody until now has put it into a simple form and online to allow parents to do that themselves and not look for the psychologist. We have, and that's a company called Kidstal, but they are more, it's also online, but they are more focused on learning styles than natural talents. Yes?
So I often see this with startups when you build a better mousetrap and you get it to market and try to tell people about it, and nobody wants to listen. So I understand the distribution model. When you were coming up with the idea, formulating your process, what did you have that change? What didn't work for you? And where do you see an opportunity?
Well, one thing that I mentioned was I was very positive that if we build the assessment, that will be it. Because for me, and this is on a personal note, we dropped the violin lessons for my daughter. And now she's painting, and she's like painting like crazy. And I don't get, the arts. If I go to art museum, I've learned like to do and so on. But this is not my world. And she's just painting every day. And she was not really enjoying violin. I was, but she wasn't. This was one thing that our users told us. The assessment is cool, but if you don't tell us what's next, we are not going to pay for it.
Have you tried traditional internet marketing,
We haven't done traditional marketing. All what we've done so far is the internet marketing. And most of it really through Facebook and kind of building the content and reaching out to moms and getting reviews from moms and stuff like that. Yeah.
A couple of questions. Through activities that you do they get increasingly more difficult as the child ages? And what age do you stop at 9 as well?
At this point, because we've just started. So there are two factors. One is the age. So for example, if you have a child who is 3 into music and just starts, he will get a different activity than a child who is 7 and into music and just getting started. And again, if in 2-3 years, if somebody starts at 3, now is 6, and is into music, he will get much more advanced development activities than somebody who is 6 into music but just starts. So these are the two elements. And so far we have 2 months in advance the development activities. So we're kind of all the time working on this because it's quite a lot. Although the activities are simple, so it's not like you have to publish a book on music. The activities are quite simple.
And if you have a child that may be more advanced than another child at the same age, you can get more advanced activities?
We can, and this is what we are asking parents, and say, okay, how do you get the activities? Is the child really enjoying them? Is he bored with them? And then we can adjust that. At this point, we are adjusting it manually. We have a grading system, kind of. We adjust them manually, but if we get more such inquiries, we'll think about doing it automatically.
And then just a couple of comments.
Yeah.
We probably should get into PTAs, figure out how we get into PTAs,
Mhm.
because that's where all moms are. And then the other thing I was thinking was if you could get with, say, your musicians, people that are doing tutoring, could get on, could pay to be a part of your site, and then you can recommend them.
Right.
So that might be a way of.
Well, on that note, we actually reach out to, let's say, passionate professionals in each of those areas. And they are actually the biggest source for our development activities. And so far they are volunteering, so we don't have to pay them. But this is interesting. We have this musician who is so passionate about the whole idea. He says, yeah, I will send you, the activities because I want other kids to be into music, as early as possible. And we have for each area 1 or 2 such passionate people. But this is a good idea about reaching out to those musicians, yeah. Yeah.
Actually, piggybacking two things, the first one rather. Piggybacking on that, to look out for individuals who work with kids already, I would recommend looking into the Fringe Fest, specifically the Kids Fringe this year.
Okay.
They always have individuals, artists who do arts from past, but not with youth. They might be someone we're looking into. My initial question is reward system for both parents and kids bringing more people into the program. I know when kids are passionate about something, they always want to show their friends at school. Your daughter is a painter. Would there be any reward for either her or your parents or her parents for training? Like, we're trying out painting and getting them involved.
Mm-hmm. Well, so far we have this element that if you recommend your friends, you get 1, 2, or 3 months of development activities for free.
Okay.
But this is a good idea. We may think about how we can link, what they are doing as their passion to, recommend other people. So we'll think about
I
it.
think kids always when you're passionate about something, they always have this way of emphasizing how something is cool.
Sure.
And the one thing that comes to mind is when I was younger, I had a program called Book It. And what they did is they get you to read, and if you read a certain amount of books, you get a free personal pen.
Right,
So
right.
maybe not something to that level, but it made reading cool. So I'd say figure out a way to bring people on board and make painting or whatever, or violin playing, et cetera, cool, and reward them for whoever they bring on some facet of who comes and joins the program.
Right. Good idea. Thank you. We are not linking at this point the development activities with the extracurricular activities. Apart that in the report, the parent gets some advice what would be good your kid to send to. But if we get the feedback from the parent that this is kind of boring because they already do it within 3 seconds, then we bump them up and do some more advanced stuff. Yeah.
It sounds like you're focusing on building a digital community, which is great for parents finding people in the same situation. Are you thinking about taking that to the physical community at all? If a daughter is interested in gardening, I can find other kids that she could garden with instead of sitting in the backyard.
We are, but not at this stage. We are, yes. We are. We would like, and we need also the volume for this. We would like to finally not only link parents with talented parents of talented children, but in the area. So let's say in the Orlando area, you have parents of kids that are passionate about math or other painting. But we need to have volume, and also we have a lot of things still to do now. Yes. Yep. Yes. This is why actually the algorithm changes a little bit as the kid is older. So there is more emphasis on the parents and the 360 than on the kid when they are 3 or 4. And second thing, when they are 3 or 4 or 5, we encourage parents to redo the assessment every 3 to 6 months. Because what we found out is, Johnny was playing soccer yesterday. He's into music, but he was playing soccer, and he really liked soccer. Next day, he doesn't like soccer anymore, but he was choosing, things that are to do with sports, with movement, and so on. So especially for the 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds, we encourage parents to redo the assessment every 3 to 6 months just to take it into account. And by the way, one more thing that we take into account is what we call unfulfilled ambitions of parents. Because some parents have always wanted to be a doctor or an engineer. And whatever happens, even if your daughter is into painting, she will be an engineer. So it's embedded in the survey for parents because we would like to know that. And it's actually hidden in the algorithms just to be careful about this. So, anything else?
You on Pinterest?
Not yet. We are not. We are on the. Okay, we are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We'll be on Pinterest and Instagram and yeah.
Who developed the algorithm?
Who prepared the algorithms? Well, it was a team of psychologists, and actually, as somebody who's been doing the business intelligence platforms and cryptographic stuff even for the government. So actually, the algorithms have been really well developed. It's very complicated, and it's our kind of. It took 6 or 7 months actually to develop that. So. There's a lot of science and math, which I don't get it, but it's working. So, yeah. Oh, sorry.
What is the process for choosing program instructors?
We don't have that yet. This is something we'll be working on. And also, but later on, we would like to build a place that will have some kind of a recommendation system for, a good music teacher, a good, class of, violin or stuff like that. But this, we are not there yet. But this is something which we are thinking, and we have a plan to do that, but we are not there yet. Okay, well, thank you so much. If I may, I would like to mention one more thing, because I see Josh from Rollins and Kramer. There is a Rollins Venture Plan competition. There were 21 teams taking part in the competition. 8 of them got to semifinals, and yesterday there was semifinals, and actually Kidstal was one of the 8. And we actually got into finals. There are 4, and thank you. And the final 4 teams will present on Friday, if I remember correctly, between 12 and 2:30 at Kramer SunTrust Auditorium. So if you would like to come, please come. You're welcome to listen to 4 finalists of the Venture Plan competition. And there are several very good judges, experienced investors, and so on. So it's kind of a shark, experience, but it's very good. So if you would like to come, Josh is there. Can you tell you more? But you're invited. Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
It's very sad that we're done. However, I want to again ask you guys to please share with your friends, tell them to come, encourage companies to come and sign up and join us. If you haven't done that yet, go online to our webpage. You've got 2 buttons. One is sign up for the email list, and you will find out every week. We don't spam, but every week you'll find out who is presenting. So on Tuesday we send that out. At the same time, there's another button. How simple can that be? It says apply to present. So share with your friends, tell them. I'm going to have one more request from you. So if you can take your cups of coffee or your bottles of water, there's a trash can right back there. If you can do that for us, you can leave the chairs where they are. Stay, talk to your friends, make new friends. Thank you again for coming.